Welcome to Africa Geotrends, your window into Africa's power, progress, and geopolitics. Asterisk before we dive in, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss the stories shaping Africa's future. At first light, the waters of Lake Victoria ripple with gold. Fishermen glide past mirrored panels that shimmer like floating fields of light. They are not sails or nets, but solar wings, part of a quiet revolution built by hands that once depended entirely on kerosene lamps and diesel engines. This is the dawn of the solar fleet, Africa's floating power solution. For generations, the lake was known for fish, storms, and mystery. Now, it's becoming known for something new: electricity drawn not from the ground, but from the sky. Across Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, engineers, entrepreneurs, and young students are experimenting with a radical idea. If water sustains life, why can't it also sustain power? In 2021, a team of Ugandan and Kenyan engineers from Solar Plexus Energy began deploying prototype, floating photovoltaic platforms off the coast of Entebbe. Their challenge was simple yet enormous: deliver clean power to remote island communities where grid cables had never reached. Every floating module they launched carried 72 high-efficiency solar cells, tethered by ropes and anchored with concrete blocks beneath the lake. It was the first pilot of its kind in East Africa, a living laboratory for floating solar in a tropical environment. Ambient sound, waves, voices, soft electric hum. Engineer Sarah Nyanga still remembers the night they turned on the first string inverter. For the first time, they could charge phones, run fridges, even power the water pump. She laughs quietly. We called them the children of the solar fleet because they were born into light. For decades, Lake Victoria's islands have depended on diesel barges that delivered power only a few hours a week. The cost of fuel, the pollution, the logistical nightmares. It was a cycle of scarcity. Then came the idea: use the lake's open surface as an energy field. Solar panels stay cooler on water, improving efficiency. The lake surface reduces dust accumulation, and evaporation losses are minimal. What began as an experiment is now drawing attention from investors in Nairobi, Accra, and even Stockholm. By 2023, the East African community signed a joint framework to study large-scale floating solar potential across Lake Victoria's basin. According to the World Bank's Energy Sector Management Assistance Program, Africa could host over 400 gigawatts of floating solar capacity on existing hydropower reservoirs and lakes, enough to electrify half the continent. Here, in the heart of Africa, that number is becoming more than theory. Music swells, hopeful strings. On the Kenyan side, near Homa Bay, a startup called Aquasun Power Limited has installed test rafts made of recycled plastic barrels and aluminum frames. Local youth trained through the Kenya Climate Innovation Center build, maintain, and monitor the rafts themselves. Each platform feeds a microgrid that powers a school, a cold storage facility for fishermen, and a community Wi-Fi hub. In 3 years, diesel consumption dropped by over 60%, and fish spoilage fell dramatically. For the first time, digital life, education, trade, information is running on light that floats. Economists call it distributed resilience. Villagers call it freedom. Cut to sound of a child's laughter, humming power lines. But the solar fleet is more than a local project. It's a new frontier in climate adaptation. Lake Victoria has warmed faster than almost any large tropical lake in the world. Extreme rains, rising water levels, and invasive weeds have battered shore communities. Now, these same waters are hosting a defense mechanism made of silicon and sunlight. Each floating panel offsets the carbon footprint of a dozen kerosene lamps. Together, they form a silent army against climate collapse. When Tanzanian engineer Juma Mbwana was recruited to supervise anchoring systems near Bukoba, he realized the symbolism. Our grandparents dug for gold. We're anchoring light, he says. Maybe this is what wealth looks like now: quiet, clean, endless. Sound fades. Narrator tone deepens. Behind this transformation lies a network of visionaries. The African Development Bank's Desert to Power Initiative, funding hybrid solar projects across the Sahel. The Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet, bringing concessional finance to off-grid innovators. Local partners like Uganda's Rural Electrification Agency and Kenya Power's Green Energy Unit, connecting pilots to national planning. But the true story is personal. Each array represents a family no longer inhaling smoke, a shop that can stay open after sunset, a clinic that keeps vaccines cold through the night. As the panels expand, so does the sense of agency. Music, rhythmic percussion begins, progressive tempo. Across the lake, in the fishing town of Kisumu, 19-year-old inventor Aking Odiambo designs low-cost drones that inspect solar floats for damage. Her prototype won the African Tech Girls Challenge, earning her a scholarship to study renewable engineering in Nairobi. When I fly over the lake, she says, I see patterns, light connecting villages. It's like constellations on the water. That vision, constellations on the water, has inspired a nickname among engineers, the solar galaxy. A galaxy powered not by stars, but by human ingenuity. You've been watching Africa Geo Trends, where Africa's moves shape the world. That if you haven't already, subscribe now and stay ahead of the next big story.